Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. You're listening to She's Got This. I'm Christine Gallagher, and I'm super happy that you are here today. Welcome. So, building a business online and making money while you sleep really sounds sexy, right? When people talk about it. But what if you're somebody who needs money in the door, like right now? Well, you actually can bring in quick income today if you wanted to while you set up your online empire. But most of the people out there who are teaching online marketing or the gurus or the coaches, they completely ignore this. So I'm sharing the real truth today. And we're talking about the disappointment that can really run rampant in the online space these days, because there is such a huge focus being placed on things like creating funnels, running Facebook ads, developing online courses, and things like that. Do all of these things have the potential to work? Yes, they do. But what most people won't tell you is that these things take time. They are not usually ideal for most business owners who need cash flow in the door today. There's what I call the 5 T's, which stand for tracking, testing, tweaking, technology, and time involved. And I've seen way too many business owners sort of freak out because they've bought into this dream of expecting fast results with their online business. So building a list and nurturing it takes time. Offering an online course requires you to have volume, and creating all of this requires upfront expenses. So what do you do about this? Well, you can pivot your focus to creating what I call income infusions in the short term instead. So income infusions, otherwise known as cash injections, don't necessarily require a long sales page, a stressful launch, a complicated funnel, a big list, or a bunch of technology. So they allow you to leverage the money on the table you have now in your business to create income quickly today. So they allow you to strip everything else out and only focus on generating big amounts of money in fast timeframes with very little setup work. So let me give you a few examples of this. Making an aligned offer to previous buyers or previous leads would be one example. Making an irresistible offer to clients who are up for renewal in your programs would be one. Doing a phone call campaign to get discovery calls on the calendar, doing a referral campaign to get referrals, creating a holiday campaign to sell something with the excuse that it's X holiday, creating and reaching out to a hit list, which essentially is a listing of people that you have come across, maybe social media, maybe elsewhere, who you think might be interested in your services, or who have maybe said in the past that they were interested and it just didn't pan out for whatever reason. So these kinds of campaigns are really designed to simplify and speed up the process of injecting income into your business whenever you need it. And that way, anytime you decide, hey, I need some extra money, you can pull out one of these techniques and you deploy it, and then the cash starts to flow in. So something else important to mention here, you've probably heard people talk about revenue generating activities, and these are activities directly related to you getting a client or bringing in income. But the question is, are you currently focusing on the right activities day to day in your business? So infusing income into your bottom line really depends on this. So I want to break this down for you. Focusing on revenue generating activities, that's a topic that I actually work with my clients on all the time. And what I've noticed is that it can be confusing for a lot of people because, first of all, they are not totally sure what are revenue generating activities. So these are activities directly related to you getting a client or bringing in income in your business, which makes sense, right? But the problem is many entrepreneurs can sabotage themselves. They sabotage their income because they end up spending their time on the wrong things. And we've all been there, right? But revenue generating activities are not things like obsessing over your tagline, tweaking your website colors endlessly, messing around on Facebook for hours without much to show for it, right? So that is part of what the wrong things are to focus on. Let me give you 5 specific examples of what you want to focus on instead in terms of revenue generation. Number one, following up with warm prospects. And so this is obviously warm instead of cold. So these people have some sort of connection to you already. And this can include people who've bought from you in the past. It could be current buyers and clients, but it could also be things like past leads where you've connected with somebody and they expressed interest and it wasn't the right time for whatever reason, but they were interested at one point, let's say in the past 6 months or so. Number two, scheduling discovery sessions. So especially if you have higher ticket offers, which are commonly categorized as being over $2,000 roughly, those usually, not always, because I do teach ways to not have to get on the phone, but for most people, especially if they're newer to doing discovery calls or they're newer to high ticket, they usually do require a phone conversation because people just want to make sure it's the right fit if they're investing that much money. Number three, pitch a high-ranking podcast. You can use the search on iTunes for a list of the top podcasts so that you can find popular shows that, of course, also align with what it is you do and what it is that you teach. And also that have an audience of your ideal target market. So whatever the topic is, whoever your people are, those are the kinds of terms that you want to be searching for in iTunes to see what is out there. So someone like me would be searching for entrepreneur podcasts, women entrepreneur podcasts, marketing podcasts, social media podcasts, maybe metaphysical or spiritual podcasts, those types of things. Number four, have a conversation with a joint venture partner who already has a following or already has a list, an email list, and then collaborate with them on something that will actually build both of your lists or your revenues or both. And then number five is send an email promotion campaign out to your own list for an offer. Now, this could be a brand new offer, or you could offer something that did well in the past when you offered it previously. And a bonus tip is there's always some sort of holiday out there that you can tie an offer into. So if you do a search for obscure or funny holidays, they'll show you a calendar with all of the different holidays that a lot of people don't even know about. Or it could be something that is personal to you. For example, I've done sales in the past on courses and things when it was a certain anniversary for my business, or when I renamed my business something new, right? It was like the kickoff sale to celebrate that. And I remember that when I was in business, probably about 2 years, it was the first year I actually went to 6 figures for the year, which was amazing. But what was making a big difference at that time was suddenly I was hit with this inspiration, like, oh, I offered this before 6 months ago or 8 months ago, and it did well. So I could just offer it again. Like for some reason that wasn't obvious to me for a while. But when I realized that, I knew that I could take what I've already done, the work is already done, and just launch it again because there's always new people coming into my list and my community who may not have seen it, or maybe it wasn't the right time in the past when you offered it. So it's always a good idea to rerun something that has already worked before. Now, where it gets a little dicey and why people tend to be overwhelmed with marketing is because there's so many types of offers to choose from. And there are so many different types of traffic to choose from too. So traffic meaning people who get in front of your offer, people who are coming to your website, people who come to your social media, people who are on your list. And most of the time, business owners are almost like too close to it to really see the opportunities that are kind of hiding in plain sight. So there's something I've been running for several years. It's called the Income Infusion Intensive. And in this intensive, what I do is I help you pick the right offer and the right traffic. And I give you templates for how to put that offer in front of that traffic. And the cool thing is you don't need to have like a long sales page, a big launch, some kind of funnel, or complicated technology. So this is definitely about easy and quick money, AKA income infusions. So this is something that last year was going away forever, going back into the vault because we wanted to focus on other priorities. But there's been some interest for this in the new year, and I get it. January is a great time to focus on like getting your cash flow up. And we've decided to have an encore final presentation of the Income Infusion Intensive, which by the way is a 3-week contest and sprint where you get individual coaching from me and we work together to find out what offers and traffic are best for you to bring in the fast cash. So enrollment closes in a few days. So if you want to check out the details of that, you can go to shesgotclients.com/income infusion.